So this is inside the cab. So there we have our TomTom, and this is our iPad. Yeah, it does things like that. And this has all our work loaded onto it. There's the iPad. It does this all the time. It's very annoying. Yes, be quiet. Shut up.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, so it just does that. It just drives up the wall. It just keeps going. So obviously there's the radio. Now down here, this is what operates the gearbox. So you can see it's got drive, neutral, reverse, and the two tortoise signs are what makes it go slow forwards and backwards if you don't want to go particularly quick. So round here to my left is my lunch stuff. Oh, be quiet, please. And this is the control. As you can see, it says charge, and on the other side it says discharge. So that controls what way round the drum is rotating. So obviously if I'm loading, it goes charge, and if it's discharging, it says discharge. This here is the camera for all around the lorry, and there's cameras all over the lorry. There's cameras on the front, cameras on the sides, and cameras on the back. More cameras than the BBC, you might say. So down here on the steering wheel, there's all sorts of gobbledygook as well. So we've got our phone controls, and this operates the radio channels up and down, and there's the volume. And on the other side we have got our cruise control. This switches the cruise control on and off, and this is our speed limiter button. So if you're in somewhere that says 30 mile an hour, you can switch that on and the lorry won't go over 30 mile an hour. And the dashboard is quite obviously the blue bits up the side. That's for our AdBlue. That helps the engine run properly at the right temperature. And then our fuel. The other side is our temperature, which isn't up because we haven't done anything yet. And this is our driver rating here. This is how the computer rates your driving, and mine at the moment is on 78%. Obviously speedo, mileometer and time. And on the other side, this is our tachometer. Now a question I'm often asked is like, what do the colours mean? Because we've got green and we've got blue and we've got red. Well, the red is obviously bad. You don't want to go around there. Now this lorry has got an American PACCAR engine in it, which is a low revving engine like they use in the Peterbilts in America. Now the green area is the vehicle's most economical running, and that it will deliver its best performance. If you start revving it around here, it starts to burn more fuel than is necessary. You're not really achieving much apart from making a lot of noise and creating pollution. Now the blue area is your optimum exhaust brake. Now the exhaust brake is operated on this stem here. Let me see if I can get the camera angle right. It's got 3 different positions. 1, 2, 3. So that's mild, medium and heavy exhaust braking. And I can also select on the button on the side here, this button. That allows me to select manual and automatic. Now if it's in manual, this is basically a paddle shift. This goes up and down, so up a gear or down a gear. So if I want to exhaust brake, I can go manual, exhaust brake on, drop down the gear, and that will help the lorry go down steep hills without the brakes overheating, which is very important indeed. So that's pretty much the basics of the controls in the cab. We've got a couple of things to help us when we're off-road. We've got this one here for off-road driving. We've got this one here, which is our central diff lock, and we've got cross lock as well on here. So that helps us if you go and get stuck. So if it's a bit muddy and stuff like that, you switch one of these, or sometimes even both of them on, and the off-road control. Pardon me. Now this button here, that's a rather peculiar. This one stops the lorry rolling around. So if you're sitting in traffic on a hill, you switch that button on, that light comes on, and then when you take your foot off the foot brake, it will give you pretty much about 4 or 5 seconds. Hold the lorry still while you go from the foot brake to the accelerator. Then when you touch the accelerator, the brakes come off and you pull away. It's all good stuff. That switches off your lane buzzer, so that if you're drifting from one side of the road to the other, the buzzer will go off and pretty much drive you up the wall. And this one here, that is the evacuation for the diesel particle filter. So if it starts getting a bit bunged up, you can switch that on and it will clear out the exhaust. And the one next to it is basically for the flashing beacons on the top. And that's pretty much it. So there is the cab of the lorry. Ta-da! Hooray! And there's Scrap Heap Challenge Ryle. See you later.